All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hitbox Stormgrounds. We're going to be moving on into our next matchup. Natus Van Seer, aka Navi, going to be taking on Fnatic here for our next round. And already you can see a few of the maps that are not wanted here, Tetra.
Yeah, you're already getting rid of quite a few of them. Like Arts Bay, who almost made it in last match, just getting banned out very early this time. But we still have quite a few of the classics left over.
Nobody has dared to go into the Battlefield of Eternity today.
This is true. This is true. There's a lot of stigma against it. 2-lane maps in general, just treated with a very wide girth, because a lot of teams, it's a completely different playstyle that you have to run on it, and it is a newer map as well.
I'm personally hoping for Dragonshire here.
I like Dragonshire as well. I've always liked the bright green maps, so I'm a fan of Dragonshire, and I'm a fan of Tomb in the daytime. And yeah, we are on the Dragonshire.
All right,
not Tomb, sorry, Garden.
Yeah, Garden is out, Tomb is out. No dark and dreary. It's all about the day, the sunshine, the greenery, and
the red tints. And the red tints when the dragon comes out.
Absolutely the red tints. So Natus Van Seer is the first pick, first ban. What are big strengths here on Dragonshire? Well, once upon a time, it used to be all about Vikings. It used to be about Sergeant Hammer. But these days, it could actually just be a big target ban against Fnatic, because Natus Van Seer as the first pick means they're likely not to be banning Zeratul.
Yep, I would say that is quite likely. Apparently they wanted to ban Dragonshire, so Dragonshire is not the map. What was the other one that was left?
Cursed.
Cursed, okay. So, looks like we are playing on Cursed. Rip indeed. Oh well.
Are we continuing on with this draft, or are we getting another one?
I don't see why we can't. We know what the map is.
Well, it's up to the players more than anything.
We'll find out in a sec. I'm sure someone will confirm that with us.
All right, Navi, show us that ban. You got all right. It's gonna be Jaina.
Yep, Jaina, usually the first priority is the pick for whichever team gets first pick. Actually being banned out very quickly this time. Well, she's been doing pretty effectively through all of the games so far. She did lose in the last one, but she dropped huge amounts of damage and was able to, I think, the person who killed Kael'thas the most, who was the most amount of damage coming out of Rocket. So, banning her out, pretty effective choice.
All right, so if Jaina is the ban, and it's not a Zeratul from Fnatic, it's going to be that Abathur ban. I was going to say, could this actually be a big melee chance for Natus Van Seer? Now, assuming that it was going to be a Zeratul, I had more in mind of a Kerrigan, smaller map, the lanes are kind of close together, and you can get a lot of value out of it engaged. But with Fnatic opting to ban out the Abathur, this is a big opportunity to finally see the Protoss.
Very true, but it is quite a risk to pick him out as your first pick, so we'll have to see if Na'Vi does that, or whether they're going to prioritize one of the other ranged assassins, for example, Kael'thas or Sylvanas, or, as we saw in the last game, Sylvanas actually not getting banned at all and not getting picked either. Could see a Valor if it's a similar style.
I would still put a lot of heavy emphasis on top of the Zeratul. I mean, if it does go through first pick, that means Fnatic has a 2-pick phase, which could easily lead you into an Uther or a Rhaegar with that melee, and those are kind of combos you want to try to avoid here.
Very true. Na'Vi running their clock down very, very far before they do make this pick, because, like I said, the Zeratul is very, very strong at the moment, but it's a very risky pick to pick first, because there's a lot of chances for Na'Vi, like we said, to steal up some of the supports that could go with that Zeratul, even if they want to bring out a Tassadar just to counter it in terms of vision. Okay, they're remaking the lobby. They're remaking the draft, apparently. So, for all we know, that could all be irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, teams. You're the best.
Yep. Cheers, lads. Oh, well. But for now, we're just waiting for the draft to be resent to us. Sorry about that. Murka! Yeah, I closed it. So, draft is up. We're just waiting for the teams to hit ready and just get through those map bans. Just skip through them very quickly.
All right. So if it is going to be Cursed and Jaina Abathur hold, I still maintain it's going to be a Zeratul. If they don't hold, I somehow doubt we're going to see an Abathur ban.
I would agree. I don't think he's a huge priority on this map, but he is definitely a target ban in favor of being banned against Fnatic, who have run him a couple times. So have Na'Vi, in fact. So both these teams have been known to run the Abathur now and again in those sneaky styles.
I'm just saying that as a first pick potential Abathur, I'm
Yeah.
not entirely too sure it warrants a before the second ban phase. Many of the teams obviously might disagree. It really comes down to what the actual bans are going to be this round. But as we do get back into those maps, guys, we're just going to give you a quick reminder. We are doing some giveaways out there. So there's a few ways that you can enter the draw. And, this was actually clarified by the admins over our break. These are draws that you can enter every single day between now and the finals. We're not broadcasting Saturday, Sunday. You can still potentially win Saturday and Sunday. So it's big thanks again to Steel Series, because you can get yourself a Sensei Raw or a QCK. See, I can say it now.
Yeah.
Multiple ways to do it. You can follow the stream here on Hitbox. You can head over to Facebook. Go over to facebook.com/SteelSeries and just leave them a post that says, I love #Stormgrounds. And you can do that every day for a chance at one of these epic prizes. Of course, you can also tweet out there. Use the tournament #Stormgrounds in your tweet to be included in the draw, and I believe we're giving away both prizes every day from now till Monday.
Please as well, and of course you can follow the stream here on Hitbox, and you're not limited to one of these. You can enter all 3 times if you wish, but for now, the draft has started, and it's a first ban on Zeratul.
Curious that it's not going to be that Jaina ban, so it's noticing that it's not Dragonshire, but it is Cursed Hollow, and Natus is looking to capitalize on the first big Jaina instead.
Indeed, we will have to see if that's what happens, because Fnatic could, once again, they could ban it out if they wanted to, but we've seen a lot of priority on the Johanna ban quite a few times, and we've also seen some support bans coming in from Liquid, for example.
So this is why I'm thinking that it's not going to be the Abathur ban this time, because again, like Zeratul, no longer the Jaina. You do see a lot of synergy between the Abathur and the melees. Cursed Hollow, I'd be very curious to see if it would be a melee coming out. Illidan got hit really hard with this patch. His play rates have plummeted. The Butcher apparently not that popular over on your side of the pond, and that leaves you with a Kerrigan and, alright, yeah, Thrall, sure. Just not big picks.
Yeah, but the Abathur is once again banned out by Fnatic, so they are actually just going for it anyway.
Okay, well, they might know something about Navi that I don't at this point, but this should be a very quick Jaina or Sylvanas as a first pick.
Yep, if I had to guess, I would go Jaina on this map. Sylvanas, good on pretty much every map, but this is not one of her absolute, you must get Sylvanas, like, for example, the Haunted Mines.
Or Battlefield. She's absolutely a terror when it comes to Battlefield of Eternity. The meta has still kind of yet to settle down in Battlefield of Eternity. That's like, you can really have some interesting comps, like Gazlo comps coming back into that. Nazebo, Big Zagara with creep play.
Yeah, it seems to be a very specialist-heavy map, to be fair. Abathur is actually pretty decent on it as well, due to the fact you can soak the lanes really effectively while the objectives are up, which your team would not normally be doing. And there's the whole... and like you said, Gazlo, the area control you get with those turrets can really help you when fighting around your own Immortal. The Zagara, the amount of vision she gives. It's a very specialist-heavy map. Na'Vi, though, starting off their ban with a Kael'thas. So it's starting to pick with a Kael'thas.
Yeah, not a ban this time.
Yeah, they've done the ban.
Unless Fnatic takes both Jaina and Sylvanas this round, Navi is looking to capitalize on the best 2 out of 3 of those, because they're going to have another pick ban before the next ban. So Fnatic, they got to kind of choose: do they want to take one, both, none? Because this is their only picks before that second ban phase, I would expect to see a damage dealer and a support, if not the double damage.
Yeah, I would say that they may just go for the double damage here. There's the Jaina. Will they pick up the Sylvanas? Or something along the lines? Or, like you said, will they go for the support?
Now, last time, what we saw in the previous game is this right here was a Muradin, which was the tank pick. But, we don't have any tank bans out. It's just the Zeratul, the Abathur. So, it comes down to what will Fnatic highly prize in this slot? Damage, the support, or the tank. My money is on either support or the Sylvanas.
I would probably go with the Sylvanas or the Warrior. I think they would like a first pick on Johanna. in this situation. So we will have to see.
Will a pick on Johanna kind of indicate that later on we could be seeing a Falstad?
True, could be seeing a Fossa. They could be going into an Adspiden. Not as popular on this map due to the lanes being further apart, but can still stack up if you commit to it heavily. They're picking out the Tyrande early though.
Tyrande Butcher is absolutely a terror right now in solo queue in Hero League. The Tyrande herself, we just saw with the Virtus Pro comp, didn't quite work out for a burst. So I'm curious what Fnatic is actually going to be building into later.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting indeed. Na'Vi do now get Sylvanas if they want to pick her up, and they still also get first pick in terms of warrior or support if they want to prioritize one of those out.
Since in the Dragonshire map, if we were going to have that Zeratul, I was expecting to see a bigger emphasis on the Tassadar. Don't expect to see that here, however, especially with the Tyrande already there on the plate. No Sylvanas as of yet. The Muradin is a highly contested warrior pick, it seems, on North America, but what would be the last slot here for Navi? Will be the Sylvanas or will be their support?
Well, they do get first pick on support, so they are going to go for it. So they just basically get first dibs on what they want. They'll go for Johanna, go for Muradin over it. Is a bit interesting, but still very effective. Those two are definitely the top two picks nowadays. So they have a pretty nice lineup already. Fnatic now get their choice in terms of what to ban. Then it's quite difficult for them to choose what to ban out now because Na'Vi has a very good spread in terms of their picks already.
Yeah, they got one of each role ready to go. Now, with an Uther, especially early on, I'm very curious to see if it'll always be a melee by the end of it, but doesn't really seem like it's going to be fitting into this comp as of yet. Kind of comes down to what these next bans are. We already got a support there on the table. Fnatic either needs to ban out a DPS or... well, yeah, it's probably going to be a damage. Like, there's no point in really banning out anything else unless Navi's known for running double warriors.
Well, the double warrior, as we've seen already, is popping its way into EU quite a lot. But, like you said, and I agree with you 100%, the damage ban coming out from Fnatic is going to be the Zagara. Just limit Na'Vi's options a bit. And once again, Sylvanas just dropping down in the pick order quite a long way. So Na'Vi, they now get their choice in bans. And I would almost 100% expect a warrior ban out of them, just to limit Fnatic's options a bit. And if I had to guess the ban, it would, well, like we said, Muradin, Johanna, the highest picks. But there's the Butcher ban, like you said, the Tyrande Butcher combo, very deadly. So getting rid of that, very good choice.
Can Fnatic then run Kerrigan? The Kerrigan, Tyrande, Jaina.
Very possibly.
Absolutely scary engage comp.
It is very scary as well. And there's the fact that Illidan is open as well. He got nerfed heavily, but is still seeing some play from some teams. But I think Kerrigan, like you said, may be a bit of a better choice. But against an Uther Muradin, there's a lot of CC that can lock down a Kerrigan there.
If Cloud9 fan can't make Illidan work, I don't think there's any hope for anybody to make Illidan work at this point. So, all right.
Well, clearly you've made an opposite of Zoya, and you have underestimated the EU scene.
It's very possible, but I need to see it with my own two eyes if it is going to be that Illidan. I highly suspect at this point it's just going to be the tank and the warrior. That's the same thing. The tank and the support. So Rhaegar, not really too much of a surprise. They don't want to get caught with only the Tyrande. But, Johanna or Nubarak is kind of what it feels like moving forward.
Yeah, I would agree. Or they could get their second damage, or another damage anyway, due to the fact that Kael'thas is the only damage dealer on the side of Na'Vi. So they could pick that up and just hope Na'Vi's only going to pick up one more warrior. So it's a question of, do Fnatic feel comfortable with either a Noob or Johanna? Because if Na'Vi wants to go double warrior, then they will pick up one of those two.
Nubarak has been seeing a lot of web blast. So Fnatic, if they're not taking the warrior here, they're going to... Okay, so it's going to be the Johanna. I was going to say, if they don't take the warrior here, they might have the reserve a Nubarak pick to follow up whatever Navi's about to pick up. Because the web blast is great for eliminating a target and then use your insane burst, which kind of isn't there right now from Fnatic to try to capitalize on a pick. So with the Johanna, it looks like a lot more steady damage coming in. Natus Vincere got to think about what kind of damage do they want to go with this Kael'thas. Well, we keep talking about the Sylvanas. She's still out there. The Vala has now been seeing play. Zagara is out. That loses with a Falstad by the end of it.
Yeah, this is it's going to be interesting to see what they pick, and they have two picks left over. So double damage, they could in fact go for the, like we said, Sylvanas, Falstad, or something along those lines. We could see Valor make her way back in, as we have seen. Tychus has popped his head up every now and again. Yeah, on both sides, but not really very popular. Due to the fact that all of his damage currently comes from his Q, really, and it's so easy to interrupt, especially against a Johanna.
Yeah, so I wouldn't expect to see the Tychus.
Yeah, I would agree. But
if it is going to be a Vala, it's really hard to go for the Strafe. But the Rain of Vengeance has a big opportunity of just not hitting Johanna because of the Unstoppable. So
Johanna can just wade through it, but if she wades too far, she's going to leave her team behind because Rain of Vengeance can be very good for zoning.
Kael'thas, Sylvanas, Falstad feels really good because they have the burst to punch through not only the Rhaegar but the Tyrande. But at the same time, there's also a big opportunity there for Fnatic because it's a very squishy team.
Yeah, they are running their time down very long way here before they've even tried to make one of those picks. So I'm still curious to see what they do. I agree that it's going to be very high damage. I don't think they'll go Na'Vi or go Double Warrior. I don't think they need to.
I highly suspect it'll be a Falstad. Cursed Hollow, the Fly, the Laser, the Kael'thas, like it's a lot of for free damage. But wow, it will be the Vala. All right.
Yep, there's the Vala. Rain of Vengeance could once again, like we said, be good for the zoning in against Fnatic, who are basically just going to trap Johanna on the other side if she tries to go in too aggressively. And they still do have one more pick. They have 30 seconds to make their decision.
If it's not a Falstad on one side, it's almost guaranteed to be a Falstad on the other.
And agree, I'd say the Falstad would actually work a bit better maybe for Fnatic, due to the fact that they have the Johanna already. And there is the Anub'arak, so Na'Vi are in fact going for the Double Warrior. So Fnatic, I think, almost will definitely fill up their final pick with that Falstad, combined with Johanna, combined with Jaina. They just have a huge amount of burst to run a Hunter's Mark into Hinterland. Someone's going to die.
Double Warrior all day. All day. My goodness. All right. So if this is going to be a Web Blast as the last pick in Uberak, it's almost always going to be going on Jaina. And then they blow up either the Tyrande or the Rhaegar.
Yeah,
Jaina can ice block out of it, the other two can't.
Yeah, so Jaina's the most likely target. The other option would in fact be Rhaegar if it's pre-ice block.
Wow.
Oh.
No way. Was that a random?
I don't think so.
A random?
They had like 2-second bonus pool. I don't think so. But if it is, then they have to stick with it because they've used up their timer.
No way. Sonya?
Okay, so let's talk about Sonya for a bit. Sonya has 1% more health than Butcher and does less damage than Butcher. This is currently one of the many reasons why she's not played. And now she's being played in this particular game.
Alright, so...
Real pick or not, they have to do it. So...
Sonya has her own cleanse built into Whirlwind, I think level 7.
Yes, that is one of the very few useful, but it only works on roots and slows, and currently there are no roots or slows. Every single member of Na'Vi has a stun, I've just realized.
But it's at level 4, not level 7. So there's a big thing about Whirlwind builds. For big AoE damage, you go Wrath of the Berserker. Not only are you health stealing, but at the same time, again, you can get yourself your mini cleanse. You can increase your healing there. You can increase the range on it. I think
it was intentional, apparently.
All right, life funnel. So it's only life funnel and Hurricane.
Life funnel has been removed.
What?
Oh no, wait, no. Life funnel is still there. It's the the extra duration that's been removed.
Yeah. So the life funnel was a while
back. That was like
more
2 patches.
Healing. The Hurricane is for that. Reduction. Level 7 likely be Spear, and level 16 is probably.
I am not willing to try and predict this kind of thing, but I feel if I had to guess, maybe they're just running her as more of a melee assassin in that particular style. I'd say like maybe just huge amounts of damage, but because Rhaegar Ancestral could probably keep her alive nicely, but I'm not willing to predict fully into that.
So let's say that it's not going to be then the Whirlwind because there's so many stuns available to Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's so easy to interrupt.
And they already got a Johanna, so they don't need the tank. So in that case, it should be Shot of Fury. There has been a little bit of a talk of focused attack and follow through, just like what you see on Zeratul.
Yeah, because if you actually time it right and take the reduced mana cost of your Seismic Slam, it actually times out where you can slam, auto slam, auto slam, auto forever. Until you run out of Fury, anyway.
Right, and that's level 13.
Yeah, and that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, so level 13 with that Fury cost reduced by 50%. Level 16 would be increasing the damage if you really want, but I highly suspect it would be Nerves of Steel. You're right, yeah. So not only is it the auto attacks bringing down the focus, but the follow through, slam, follow through, slam, spear, slam, like it could potentially do a lot of damage. The big weakness is that she doesn't have a reliable escape.
Well, if she could take a leap and use that for escape, and Lowell, in fact, is doing an impression of Sonya using leap in the pre-game lobby in the chat at the moment. But
Yep,
I missed that.
Right.
I missed it when that sound was global. No matter where you were on the map. Oh God, where is she? Who on my team is dying? Is it our Sonya who's dived in too far and is going to die, or is someone dived on by their Sonya who's going to die?
So is there enough control with Fnatic, with Johanna, with Tyrande, with Jaina, to allow Sonya to become the melee assassin that she really ought to have been in the very beginning of the game anyways? That's going to be the big test here for Fnatic. Now, in terms of Sonya as a melee, she can still fill the same role as Illidan to a small degree. Level 2 minutes come in, she can go off merking, she can solo out a lot of those camps during the entire game. Her laning phase is probably going to suck for her. There's a lot of stuns available.
Very true.
So I'd probably see her roaming around earlier.
Yeah, I would agree. We do know that it is being played by Lowell. So, gonna be interesting to see what to do with this. But Sonya can do a lot of damage if you can keep her alive. If you combine this with the lightning shield talent that we saw from Rhaegar last game, the extra damage, and then just ancestral healing, then Sonya's actually going to be very hard to deal with.
So vulnerability, extra attack damage for extra healing on auto attacks, follow through, and focus. Yeah, true shot at 16.
I can see a lot of damage coming down from this, but the issue is, this is all relying on the fact that Sonya can stay alive and unstunned. Because there's a lot of stun potential.
Cleanse can only go so far.
Very much so. You can only cleanse once. And we are now getting into the game. Countdown has begun. And we're heading into Na'Vi versus Fnatic. And we're seeing a Sonya. I'm quite excited to just see how this goes.
Well, it will be a day of learning for sure. Fnatic and Na'Vi. How do these two teams actually match up overall in terms of the EU power rankings?
At the moment, Na'Vi is quite a bit higher. Fnatic have had a couple roster changes recently, which has affected them a little bit. But they are getting used to this roster for the moment. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. The most recent time they played offline was at DreamHack Summer, where Na'Vi were able to send Fnatic home in 4th place. But for now, let me introduce to you guys the team on the right-hand side in the red trunks. It is going to be the team of Na'Vi. And starting in the top lane, it is going to be JPL on the Kael'thas. It is going to be Breeze on the Muradin when it is going to be Valor on the Eternal on the Valor, sorry, Splendor on the Uther, and Schwimpy is playing the Anub'arak.
And it looks like Fnatic is actually going to be the guys there on the left-hand side, but unfortunately, I'm not entirely confident on my pronunciation of their names here, Tetcher. Could you do the honors?
Well, it is going to be Lowell playing the Sonya. Tomzy is playing the Johanna. Ace of Spades is playing the Rhaegar. Kessel is the Tyrande. And one of the newer players to the team is going to be, I think, Mean, because he's the one I haven't seen before yet.
So Mean and Tomzy are the names that I don't quite have under my belt right now. But
yeah, I'm probably going to get corrected on Mean. I'm just keeping an eye on my Skype on my other monitor. Waiting for someone.
Mene. But the 5-man death ball there mid, a lot of teams have been kind of putting more eggs in the mid basket earlier on, so that they can kind of determine where their opponents are going to be, and then they can just react accordingly. In this case, they know that Navi's into the top, and they are actually just going to counter push bottom.
Alright, so let's have a look at the talents for this early stage, which are going to be very important to how this game does play out. For example, Sonya has started off with the War Paint talent, which gives her 30% lifesteal. It's basically a good Vamp Assault on level 1 for her. The Tyrande went with the extra cooldown on her Hunter's Mark, the Ranger's Mark talent, and Rhaegar went with the extra healing. So basically it looks like they're all focused on this Sonya, keeping her alive and letting her do damage. Whereas on the other side, we have the counters coming in from Na'Vi. Reverberation, the reduced attack speed on anyone caught by that Thunderclap from Muradin, the extended spikes, the increased range on the knock-up from Anubarak to try and catch people out more, and Valor going with that anti-burst strategy of the Siphoning Arrow.
Yeah, the Siphoning Arrow, again, you're going to be looking at that dueling build from Vala. If there's anybody that overextends just a little bit and you get so much value out of that extra arrow, you'll be looking good. Of course, level 7 comes out as well. You can just throw it out once more. So, Ace of Spades in the mid, a little bit of a wet noodle fight. Sonya's just holding down the fort bottom. It's not that shield, though, for the attack speed. So if this was going to be a Sonya-specific comp, it's not showing yet.
This is true. Well, Sonya is going for that focus attack at level 4. And it is a protective shield coming in from Tyrande, so a bit of extra protection there. On the side of Na'Vi, though, Thunderburn, standard stuff from the Muradin, just the extra hit, so you can slow those attack speeds again. And it's standard other than that. We're just not seeing the gathering power from Kael'thas, because he just doesn't want to get burst down by the sudden surprise Jaina or surprise Sonya.
Well, I mean, yeah, you probably should try to avoid getting bursted down. Confirmed. Yeah, level 5 from both sides. The tribute is going to be spawning into the bottom lane. Not exactly a big advantage for either side, but Low has actually been pushing fairly consistently down there. You can see Schwimpy a bit more on the back foot, and a lot of rotation coming down from both sides.
Yeah, both teams grouping up, getting ready to fight over the tribute. Splendor and Eternal are both attempting to cap here. Eternal, excuse me, looking to zone out. 4 members of Na'Vi versus the 3 from Fnatic, and Lol getting quite a bit of damage down to Schwimpy here. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to interrupt King. Kessel is there, but Eternal does block the owl, and that is the first tribute of the game going over to Na'Vi.
Looks like they just got there a little bit quicker, and hey, to the victory goes the spoils. Now you do notice that Kael'thas still way there up into the top, and the Nubarak didn't really leave the bottom lane there either. So the maximum soak almost attained. A little bit lost there in the mid, but now I would really expect to see somebody take over bottom lane and just allow some murking to happen there with the Sonya, or somebody has to go do it themselves.
Lol going very aggressively onto Shrimpy. He's actually chasing him all the way, almost finishes him off. But we're going to see Anubarak survive, and now Lol is under a fire, taking a lot of damage, and he doesn't go down, gets behind his wall, the vision is denied, and he gets out on a tiny sliver of health. Very well played there.
1 auto attack is needed, 30 hit points. Is so very close to that death line, but you know, again, as long as Sonya has free reign for that whirlwind, she will be able to heal up eventually. But with that threat of the range DPS or that threat of Uther, it's very hard to justify leaving the gate.
Tomsy just rolling his way into that tribute point there just to make sure it isn't captured, just not caring at all, just being very aggressive with it. Follow through was the talent taken by this Sonya, so very much just going for that full damage style. And Fnatic currently going for this tribute. Not really anyone left to deny here, as the Anubarak has already used his knock-up, and Eternal does not want to overextend here. So yeah, Kessel gonna be able to pick this up for Fnatic, bring the tribute count to 1-1, but Fnatic did ditch one of their lanes for a little bit, and as such, level count is just ever so slightly in favor of Na'Vi.
Yeah, Fnatic had a 5-man collapse down on top of that tribute. They weren't willing to give that up for a 2-0 lead to Na'Vi, but at the same time, it's not
just quickly, Low's getting engaged upon in the bot lane here by 3 members, but he's able to spin his way to freedom there, using those beetles for a tiny bit of lifesteal. Didn't really make too much of a difference, but it's the little things that help, and the fact that he survived is very important for this game to continue.
Spin to win, baby. Spin to win.
To win.
The Sonya is going for the auto attack build, so the War Paint is not something I think I personally would have done myself, but at the same time, the follow through and the focus is definitely there.
Yeah, and the War Paint does stack off all that bonus damage from follow through and focus attacks, though, so that is quite nice.
Yep, I see a lot more Shot of Fury. That's
yeah, it allows you to hammer more.
Absolutely. It's also just like, oh, I have no Fury, boom, 50 Fury. Now you got that combo ready to go. You throw out that spear, and it's just 2 or 3 seismics out of nowhere. It catches some people off guard, but either way, with this level 10 coming in, Na'Vi should be able to, I think, take this tribute very quickly.
they do pick it up. Fnatic following this up with a boss of their own, and Na'Vi responding in kind of there. Shrimpy will see this is happening. Unlikely he'll try to interrupt it though, but he's going to hang around the area just to show that, yeah, I see you guys doing this. I know exactly what's happening. Heroic-wise though, there is a strafe coming out from Valor, which is very risky considering how much stun potential can be coming out of Fnatic in the late game. They already have a stun out of their Tyrande. Not going to see the leap, which could be another stun option. We're in fact going to see the Wrath of the Berserker, but Bless Shield and Condemn from Johanna will both do the job.
You don't go auto attack shield and then into the leap. This has been very much on the rise over the last few months. It's been a slow rise, but it's been steady. The auto attack build with Wrath, 30% damage is nothing to sneeze at.
Very true. There's a lot of potential bonus damage that is going to be coming in here, and it's actually 40%.
Yeah,
it's a lot of extra damage.
It's also the reduction of slows, stuns, roots, polymorphs.
Jada being forced to retreat, uses the water elemental to help her back up for that movement speed. So Ace of Spades is now here though, but that fort is already down. In the meantime though, Nubrak is in the bot lane, helping to clear up the blue team golem as well, but he's just going to leave that. The tribute is up and the towers will take care of it.
Alright, so level 11s on both sides. The bosses, you know, they're just going to continue doing their march, but all good. This tribute, however, is a big potential.
Oh, Tomsy very aggressive here. Sonya has hit all abilities. Ancestral does keep her alive. Strafe gets full duration though, and the Sonya is just being stunned up so much, but she's still alive, continuing to fight with the Muradin here in the bottom. So far, no deaths, but Lowell did survive the entire fight there, despite basically being hit by every single stun. And he is still alive, and once again, the tribute fight continues. Johanna, though, has ditched for a second, though, just to go for a fountain, and then, oh no, Rhaegar does get knocked up here. He is in dog form, trying to escape here, takes so many autos, and he heals Tomsy on the way back in. Tomsy takes over and is able to protect him, but they are now giving up this tribute over to Na'Vi, and that is the first curse of the game.
Oh, it's just the lack of the Johanna really showed out there, but you know, you have a hard time poking up against Kael'thas, against Vala, especially with that strafe. Big strafe boxes going into those small areas can really do some damage. So Fnatic, I mean, yeah, it's not the best of position for them, but there's no bosses, there's no big mercenaries that are going to be pushing down. It's just them and the defense. They don't even have to really do much top because there's no fort there either.
Yeah, they even feel confident enough to let Sonya head to that bruiser camp, which she's already captured. She now heads to the bot lane to fight with Nubrak, while most of the rest of the team deal with the 4-man push from Na'Vi in the mid lane. Na'Vi will get some towers here. Lol, just dueling with Shrimpy a little bit down there in the bottom lane.
And getting some towers during a curse is great, but if that's all you get, that's not that you haven't really pressed the advantage as much as you could.
Doing a lot of damage to Shrimpy there, but does lose the fort, unable to prevent that. And just going to clear up the minion wave with the Whirlwind. Both towers in mid lane gone, and Ace just in the top lane, just clearing out these minion waves. Now curse now over, and we did see some nice Tomsy going quite aggressively there, but not overcommitting.
Towers and fort do bring us to 13, so both sides, you know, basically still on par with their experience. We have the one tribute advantage going into it here from Fnatic, but they have also already gotten the bruiser camps, so the bruiser camps are great for the defense, but now we're going to be seeing even more map pressure from Na'Vi.
Very much so, and you were 100% right on this talent level. We do see the Mystical Spear, which means that LoL can be using it for escape, as it will always pull no matter if he hits an enemy or not.
It's the only escape you can actually afford yourself.
Yep.
There's no blink at 20, and nothing else here will kind of get you out of that one. So LoL can use it for initiation, he can use it over a wall, you can use it for escaping now. Level 16, very likely going to be the Ignore Pain, and that's just the special, or well, it's called Nerves of Steel, but it's basically Stone Shield at this point. So the Nerves of Steel, it's the same as the Stone Shields, but you just use it while whirlwinding, and it's still, like, I'm pretty sure that's just going to be a thing. Like, he needs that survivability.
Yeah, I would agree. It's pretty awesome in that sense. Both teams, though, just playing a bit passively at the moment, just clearing mercenaries. Kael'thas was up in the top lane, clearing out the Siege Giants, and LoL, down in the bottom lane, still has to deal with these ones, but got plenty of time to do it, as Na'Vi aren't going too aggressive on any lane except the mid lane, but they don't want to overextend there.
Na'Vi has a little bit of that experience lead, so they can just continue soaking as they are. They will hit that 16 very short order. And if they do hit that 16, and they'll have a bit of a talent window for the next tribute.
This is very true. For now, though, we are just seeing Na'Vi just continue to stay grouped up, and in fact, Nubrek is on the way to the next tribute. Will be spawning soonish. So they're just staying grouped up and waiting to do it together. Fnatic all grouped around their boss in the bottom lane, and it looks like they're Na'Vi thinking about doing theirs as well. Neither team starting. There we go. Fnatic do start theirs, and Na'Vi literally just starting theirs as well. Owl does spot them, but Fnatic choosing to finish theirs first and not going to try and contest the Na'Vi one on the other side of the map.
Oh, what a fantastic tribute spawning location. Fnatic's got to be happy about that.
Yeah, but they are going to be very pleased indeed. And they're already just taking it. Ace just going to grab that up. There goes the Owl. They see they are in no danger. That is a tribute for them. They are one away from a curse. Both teams grabbing a boss. And Fnatic actually just going to clear out the bot lane to help this boss put on a bit of pressure.
And at this point, if I was Fnatic, I mean, the only way to gain your map pressure back here is to push with that boss. Force everyone from Fnatic here into the bottom lane. I see Johanna there in the mid. If they force into this big defensive engage from Navi into the bottom, and there's a tribute spawning top, Johanna will be the clear winner when it comes to that, and that will be the curse for Fnatic.
Yeah, well, Fnatic are just clearing their top lane. Both teams, in fact, just going on the defensive, and both hit their level 16s for when the next tribute does come up. Both bosses
the true
falling
shot
very quickly. And yeah, True Shot Aura going to be adding a huge amount of damage. We do not see the field no plane. We see it is Numbing Blast and Furious Blow. Increases the slam damage and cost. So we'll have to see how Lol manages his Fury for this.
I'm a little surprised that he would actually go into the damage increase but the Fury increase without the Fury reduction from level 13.
It is very interesting indeed. There is a tribute in the top lane, but it looks like Fnatic are more interested by the fact that Na'Vi are chilling around their Bruiser camp, and they are actually going to head in here. Tomsy leading the charge. Nice Starfall. Going to catch 3 members here, and they're continuing to do damage onto the Muradin. Muradin is popping his Stone Form there, and Na'Vi actually able to pick up this Bruiser camp, and Jaina taking a huge amount of damage here, but they are able to deal with it. Kessel does take a Flame Strike, an Ignited Flame Strike, and Fnatic continue to head in. Strafe is getting the full duration off. Ancestral goes down into low, keeping him pushing in, but the Ignite Flame Strike does so much damage. Tomsy played super aggressively here, but it doesn't look like Fnatic want to continue this any longer. They are going to be backing up. No deaths on either side. Very well fought, but both teams just beginning to shuffle their way up to the tribute, but it is on the Na'Vi side, so they are more than likely going to be picking it up.
And everybody's able to hit that well from Navi. So basically, it's like that fight didn't happen. They only did use the Avatar to throw out and the Strafes, but we still have the Web Blast, we still have the Divine Shield. We don't have any heroic for Fnatic.
Very true. Fnatic have thrown out pretty much everything, but they won't have too long to wait for at least Wrath of the Berserk to be back up. That one with a very short cooldown.
Yeah, but still, even 1 out of 5 at this point. I mean, if they didn't see the shield and they didn't see the Web Blast, they got to be thinking, you can't engage on top of that. A lot of the big burst damage is going to be from not only the Wrath, but the Water Elemental just slows. And
they're going in just quickly. They're going in onto Uther here. And Uva Divine shields himself to try and escape here, but Lol not stopping with this push. Him and Tomsy just leading the charge here. They do catch Valor, but she got her full strafe off already. Splendor is able to escape though. Water Elemental gets picked off, and Lol, Ancestral Healing forced on him as he did take another Flame Strike and was knocked up by a noob. And once again, no deaths.
Splendor gotten very close there by the end of it all. I'm not entirely too sure you really needed to use the Rhaegar heal on top of Lol, but if they were afraid of the Kale Pass with that flamethrower with that Ignite, could have been a different story.
Yep, if Na'Vi had followed up on that, there was a good chance that Sonya might have gone down. Like you said, may not have been necessary, but it's a better safe than sorry move out of Fnatic. Tribute spawns in the bot lane, and actually Fnatic look a bit better poised to get there first, but more members of Na'Vi are going to be there. They are going to arrive pretty much as 5. Actually, it looks like they're going to arrive fairly synced up. Just Sonya, the only one really lagging behind here. Yeah, both teams just gathering around here.
Yeah, and we still have the Starfall for the zoning. We got the Blessed Shield now back up. Not going to quite have that Ancestral, at least earlier on, but Fnatic cannot afford really to give this one up.
Yeah, and look at where Lol's positioned, just in that Death Rush above this fight, looking for it. Breeze needs to be interrupted. No one's there. And they're just going to, they're just going to give up that tribute.
Guess they just couldn't find the avenue to get into that. I mean, it's not the biggest of areas, so the Starfall could have gotten some really big value out of that on an engage from the Blessed Shields. But Fnatic, all right, they're gonna choose their battles, and unfortunately, this is now putting them in a do or die situation. Unless they want to suffer another curse, a much more powerful curse, they're gonna have to just kind of put up those numbers now in this next fight.
Well, Fnatic are a little bit ahead in XP. They were actually a level ahead in that fight. The level 18 would have been hit by Na'Vi in the fight, but they had a slight little advantage there, but it wasn't a talent difference, so not too much of a difference. This time, Tribute very much in favor of Fnatic. This is a great area for Starfall, like you said, for that zoning. Sonya's on the way. She's going to be the slowest there again, but she will easily be there in time. She can even spear over the wall if she wants to. They get the stun onto Muradin. Tomsy dodging the Flame Strike. And we're seeing some very nice angles for Fnatic here. They have a very good chance of getting something good. And Ace almost dodging that Stormbolt. Lol taking a Flame Strike. It's actually just clearing the mid lane with his Whirlwind to get some health back as well. Stun lands on Kael'thas from Kessel. Nevo team fully committing to the engagement yet, though. Ace takes another Flame Strike. And this is Kael'thas. He's just being a Zony character, being very annoying. And Fnatic slowly being forced back because Jada has had to run all the way around to join her team. And Lol is busy chilling in that lane. Looks like he may be willing to join in a second. There we go. In comes Tomsy there with that Johanna. Divine Shield already used onto Kael'thas, keeping him alive. In comes Lol from above, but he gets web blasted on the way out. He's cleared out very quickly, though, by the rest of Fnatic. He's continuing to push forward to zone out. Oh, four-man Flame Strike, though, coming in from Kael'thas, and now Ace has to peel off of the Tribute. And the Ancestral Healing does not land onto Johanna, and now it's not available for Sonya. Sonya goes down straight from Valor. Does huge amounts of damage. Tyrande gets caught out, and this is going to be a fight win for Na'Vi. They'll pick up the Tribute and the Curse.
God, you gotta really give it to Kael'thas. Four-man Flame Strike turned that entire fight around. JPL gotta be feeling real good about that one. This could be keeps. Not entirely too sure it's gonna be game, but well, if they take the boss or two between them, it could definitely be the endgame situation.
Yeah, Rhaegar goes down. The boss was not taken. They're continuing to push forward. They will 100% get this keep. There are some mercenaries pushing the top lane still, but they're going to continue to push this forward. Looks like they may attempt to go for an end or at least some damage onto the core. Flame Strike
down.
Doesn't really land on anyone. Jada getting stunned up quite a lot here. She's continuing to back up, but she's the only one alive. There's the Web Blast. That will prevent her from stopping this. And she's the only one who can prevent this. Johanna will be up in 3 seconds, but the core's already on half health. Jada ice blocking after coming out of the Web Blast there. And that is GG. And Na'Vi take the game.
Na'Vi with that ridiculous late game fight. I mean, past level 13, past level 16, Kael'thas' just utility, his power just goes up exponentially with the Flamethrower Ignite combo. And we saw it right there. It was a stun combo into the 4-man wipe, and that was basically it from Fnatic. Sonya as a pick, very surprising. Early game definitely did well. Never really saw her with the huge impact plays, though.
Yeah,
she just didn't really pack that punch, did she?
Yeah, she spent a lot of time in the lane just clearing, just waiting for a moment to engage, where her team was just being forced further and further back each time. And in that last fight, the heal was used onto Johanna, which didn't land, so it wasn't available for Sonya, who also just got picked off. Fnatic not actually getting a single kill in that entire game.
Not a single kill is not boding well for that comp, so... I mean, we did talk a little bit about Butcher, talked a little bit about the melee assassins, and Sonya coming in. I think you called her the poor man's Butcher. And
I don't think I called her that, but I would absolutely adopt that and use it from now on.
It's, I don't know. It just didn't really seem to have that wow factor, the dazzle. It didn't have the consistency. The talent build itself, I mean, the war paint for the heals, fine. All right, cool. Level 16, though, no nerves of steel.
I think there was just too much crowd control for that idea to work in the slightest. She just got locked down so much there.
It definitely felt underwhelming.
Indeed, but it was still a very cool game. Either way, and Na'Vi will be moving on. We do have to say goodbye to Fnatic. We have one more game for you guys today, but first, we want to remind you guys about the giveaway that we are doing for this entire tournament, because there's so much you can win. Tell them about it, Jester.
All right, so there's 3 ways to win, and we're giving away not only a Sensei, but a QCK, courtesy of SteelSeries. Big thanks for their generosity in this event. But if you have the Twitter, You get out there, use the hashtag Stormgrounds in your tweets to be entered into the draw. If you like Facebook, head over to facebook.com/SteelSeries and leave them a post that says, I love hashtag Stormgrounds. Perhaps you could be walking away with a new mouse. And of course, as well, Hitbox themselves hosting this event. Just hit follow on the channel, and your name will be put into the draw automatically.
Yep, and a reminder, you can, in general, do all three of those to try and increase your chances of winning. You are not limited to just one. And that all of those pieces of gear that we are giving away are the Heroes of the Storm branded pieces of gear.
Well, I wouldn't expect any other brand to be given away at this event like this. Yeah. But no, you're all right. They have some really sexy looking gear. So you enter yourself into the draws, get yourself a little bit of swag for coming out and supporting your talent here in Heroes of the Storm. And I believe, who's our last match of the day, sir?
Our last match of today will be Team Alternate Fancy versus Team Kingwin.
I love that name, Alternate Fancy.
Same. Well, they have Alternate do have two rosters, and they picked up Team Fancy after picking up Team Alternate. So, Team Alternate Fancy.
Alternate Fancy. All right, guys, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we return, hopefully the right draft, we get into the last game of the day. And, let us know in the chat. Who do you think has the edge? Who do you think will take the win? And when we return, we'll be talking all about that. Tetra and Forecourt here, the Stormgrounds. We'll see you in a few.